Hi everyone, John W. Quinn here, the author of Someone Like Me. Time for another video blog. Those of you who know my story know that I served in the Navy for 20 years and retired as a Senior Chief Petty Officer, which is an E8, the second highest enlisted rank that you can hold. During my time in the Navy, I got to serve on a couple of aircraft carriers, a battleship, a destroyer, an amphibious ship. Uh, just had an amazing career. Worked with the Navy SEALs doing their paperwork down in Coronado. So I had a little bit of an experience with just about every little platform that's out there, and really had a lot of fun. But I was thinking, if I had a son or a daughter joining the Navy today, or the military, Marine Corps, or the Army, what advice would I give them? Because some of the advice that I'm going to give you today, it's universal. You can apply it, I think, across all branches of the service. So I got to thinking, and I wrote down a few things, and these are the things that I would tell my son or daughter, or heck, if I was 18 years old, if I could talk to my 18-year-old self again, these are some of the things that I would do a little differently, maybe, to have maybe a more enjoyable career, or just things that I found that worked for me in my career, uh, being, again, retiring as a senior chief. So let's get right into it. First of all, you're going to go right into boot camp. And I want to say right up front, some of the stuff you might already be doing, recruiters might already be doing as well. So I just want to put that out there too. So when I say you got to get in shape for boot camp, that's really important. I remember seeing a lot of recruits coming in who couldn't even run, you know, just a little bit or do 3 push-ups. I think it's changed a little bit where you have to be able to do the Navy PFT before you can get into boot camp. Or I think they administer the test right as you pretty much get off the bus, and so that's important to get in good shape and to stay in good shape during your career. It's really important because life at sea, life in the military, it's tough physically, it's tough mentally, and if you're in shape, that'll really help you. So get in shape, take it seriously, and you'll find, especially boot camp, much easier right from the jump. Make sure that you have an A school, a technical school, um, something that you want to do, and make sure you have that in writing with your recruiter so that your follow-on training from boot camp is dialed in, and you're good to go with that. Keep a positive attitude. Now, this sounds, you might think, well, of course I'm going to keep a positive attitude. I can't tell you the number of people that you're going to run into that right away they're going to say, well, the Navy sucks and this sucks, and I don't know why we have to do this and do that. Tell you what, first of all, stay away from those people. And if you stay positive yourself, uh, you're gonna have a much easier time of it. And by the way, those people who have that negative attitude and tell you that the Navy sucks, and I've got 100 days until I get out. I've often found that those people are the first ones to reenlist when the time comes, because that's all they've got. So um, keep a positive attitude. People will remember. This ties into a couple of other things that I'm going to talk about here. The next thing I've got written down is save your money. Now this is really important. Okay, you might be getting paid for the first time in your life. The military does, I think, pay pretty well, um, but set yourself up. Become smart with your money. Uh, I know that they have thrift savings plans and things like that. Max out as much as you can, because it's amazing what will, even if you don't make the Navy a career, in that 4-year period of of your enlistment. If you start right from the beginning, setting up an allotment and set it up to where, you just kind of forget about it, it'll build up quickly. Maybe a Roth IRA or something like that. Do that from the very beginning. Do it automatically, so it automatically just comes out of your paycheck. That'll be really good. You'll be really happy with that decision, whether you do 4 years or 20 years. Get smart with your money. And I also talk about staying out of debt. It goes hand in hand. Do not get into debt. Okay? Don't need a bunch of credit cards. You don't need all that stuff. Okay? Save up your money. Pay cash for something. And if you're coming off of deployment, you're going to have a lot of money in the bank because there's nothing to spend your money on when you're out to sea. Don't be one of those men or women who, as soon as they come back to San Diego or Norfolk, excuse me, they go down to National City Mile of cars in San Diego and throw everything down on a brand new Camaro or something like that. Not saying that you can't have nice things, but rethink that decision on that brand new car. And maybe buy something that is 2 or 3 years older, is already depreciated. You can get a really good deal on something and save yourself a lot of money on insurance and that kind of thing. So stay out of debt, okay? And stay away from the payday lenders and all that stuff. You don't need any of that stuff, okay? Do not write payday loans and things of that nature. Don't do it. Trust me. Drink in moderation. Now, those of you who know my story know that I've got some experience with this. So it's okay to drink, but if you think you're having a problem with it, get some help. But drink in moderation. If you pull into a foreign port, oftentimes sailors will go to the closest bar nearest the ship and sit there and drink. And again, there's nothing wrong with having a few beers or a few drinks, but don't drink your life away. Don't drink your military career away by sitting on a bar stool. Get out there, experience life, sign up for some USO tours, go out, take some pictures, get some memories of what you've got, because I'm going to tell you, once you leave the military, the chances of you going to some of these places that you might experience, it's going to be pretty slim. So be careful with the drinking, and save your money. Save your money with it, just by staying sober and having a good time with the experiences that you have. Make sure you study for advancement. It sounds pretty simple, right? It sounds pretty logical, but I can't tell you the number of sailors that never studied for advancement. Personally, I looked at it as I needed that pay raise, because the higher you get in the advancement, if you go from E3 to E4, Petty Officer Third Class, you're going to get a pay raise. If you're in E6 wanting to make Chief, you got to make the selection board. You got to study for that. So those are pay raises, and that can add up quickly, So study for advancement. And if you think to yourself, well, I'm not going to stay in the Navy, refer to my earlier comment where oftentimes people at the very last minute will re-enlist, and all of a sudden they're still an E4 where they could be an E5 looking at E6, and but they didn't study. So study for your advancement exams. Okay. Think 2 pay grades ahead. This is something that I did for myself. So when I was an E3, I was looking to see what it took to make E5. If I was an E5, I'm talking to the chief. How do I make chief? And it comes up quick. It comes up very quickly. The advancement, from E4 to E5 to E5 to E6. At least it did for me. So I always think 2 pay grades ahead. That's really good advice, and just be ready. You know, what else do I have? Don't avoid sea duty. Okay, you're in the Navy, for Christ's sake. Go to a ship. But it was incredible to me, the men and women who tried to avoid sea duty at all costs. And my fellow veterans that are about my age will chuckle at this because it's true. People in the Navy trying to avoid sea duty because sea duty's tough. You know, they demand a lot. It's a tough environment to be in, and you're away from your friends and your family. I understand, but I'll tell you what: the more sea duty that you have, the better it is. Especially if you're going to make the Navy a career. The Chiefs Board looks at that. Uh, Leadership at sea is one of the driving factors to making chief. So avoiding sea duty, you know, people can see that. Now you might get into a specialty like the special warfare community. I had some experience working with the Navy SEALs, and to be honest with you, I could have stayed within that community my entire 20-year career if I chose to do so. I did not. You know, I went to serve on a couple of aircraft carriers, a destroyer, and you know, my career blossomed because of that. So don't try and avoid sea duty. Take as much sea duty as you can handle. Put yourself in a position to succeed, and the advancement boards will see that, and you'll be working in your rate, actually doing your job. If you're in the captain's office, so I was a yeoman, working in the captain's office or the personnel office, you're actually doing the work that's actually going to be on your advancement exams. So if you're on shore duty somewhere in a specialized billet, sometimes you're not exposed to your rate as fully as you would be if you were on sea duty. So don't avoid sea duty, all right? Find a good mentor, somebody that can guide you along, somebody that you look up to, and whether it's a chief or an LDO or something like that, find somebody that you can, hey, can you put me on the path? What do you think I should do? You know, especially when you're thinking about making the Navy a career, you know, at the end of your first enlistment, maybe you're an E5. Talk to the chief, talk to the senior chief, talk to your CMC, and see what he or she says. It's always good to have somebody in your corner that can guide you along. I had several mentors in my career, and it paid big dividends for me. And my last point, and it kind of goes along with having a mentor, never burn your bridges, okay? The young sailor or the young junior officer that you worked with that was, you know, an ensign in your first enlistment might be a lieutenant commander, you know, 15 years later, and he's on an advancement board. And if you burn bridges with him or her, they're going to remember you. You know, the Navy, it's not that big. You know, if you build a good reputation for yourself, people will remember it. You know, if you're up for chief and they put your record up on the screen, and somebody saw us, no, that guy's a shitbird, you know, or if they say, oh, Quinn, yeah, that's a pretty good dude. I worked with him once, man. Let's make him a chief. It goes like that. It goes like that. So build yourself a good reputation. Don't burn those bridges. And you know, my last point is to have some fun in your career. Okay, it's not all as serious as all that. Have some fun. Get out. Experience life. Experience the cultures. Oh yeah, one last thing. If you're in a port overseas, don't go to the KFC. Don't go to the Taco Bells. Okay, if you're in France or someplace like that, eat the local food. Give it a try. All right. All right. That's all I've got. Hope everybody's doing well. If you haven't read Someone Like Me, I'd love for you to do that. I'm going to put a link below. You can also download it and listen to it. Or if you're looking for a motivational speaker to come in and share a bit of an inspirational story for your organization, or maybe you're having a conference, we can do this all now by Zoom. So keep me in mind. You can go to my website. Again, I'll put it below, but it's John W. Quinn, QUINN.com. All right, guys. And if you have the opportunity to subscribe, please do that. If you're a veteran and you want to add to my list, put it in the comments below. I know that a lot of my fellow veterans watch some of my videos. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences on my short list here. We could add 15 more things real easy to it, but put it down below in the comments. I'd love to see it. So, all right, guys, be well, all the best, and Happy New Year going into 2021. Hopefully it's a lot better than 2020, huh? All right, guys, be well. Bye-bye.